Today, I'm going to give you 5 tips to creating a great cover song. My name is Henry Clarke, and this is Senior Musicians Unite, where I provide tips, tricks, and industry info to help us seniors keep it going, man. Now, we as seniors, we love covers. The memories certain songs bring us tap into our very soul. And let's face it, we've heard a lot of songs throughout the years, and as we get older and more accomplished as musicians, we want to cover some of our old favorites. Let's get a little perspective before we get to the tips, though. Cover songs have been a staple of the music world for decades. Most of us grew up learning music through covers. We play our favorite songs over and over again to learn the words and the melodies to the extent that mom would even say, okay, that's enough. You're going to way to groove out on that record. At least my mom used to say that all the time in my house, right? But you know something? Cover songs help some of us develop our own style. A lot of our first bands were cover bands. Maybe some of you even still play in cover bands. And of course, at home, we experimented with our own covers. But here's the deal. If you want your cover today to get truly accepted, you got to make that cover your own. It's so easy to get caught up in trying to replicate the original, but that's not what makes a cover memorable. And also, when you just replicate the original, the listener immediately compares your cover to the original as they remember it. And in almost all cases, you lose because you didn't do a cover, you just did a copy. You didn't bring anything new to the table. They've heard it all before. Matter of fact, all you've really done is karaoke, to be honest with you. So the key is to find a way to put your own spin on the track, whether that's through a unique arrangement, a different genre, or even just a distinctive vocal style. So how do you do that? Where do you start? Here's 5 tips to help get you on your way. First, you need to choose the right song. Now, I know it sounds obvious, doesn't it? Well, it's crucial to pick a track that resonates with you and your audience. And if it's a vocal song, make sure you can actually sing the song. Do a quick test. Try to see if you can sing the highest part of the song. If you're screaming or struggling or straining, try a key change. That can work wonders when doing a cover. I know, man. I do it all the time. I'll throw a song in a program like Band in a Box or something and start singing. And I'll get to that high part. And I'll know pretty quickly that the key is not something that I can perform well. So I'll work down in steps until I'm comfortable with that version and that key. Number 2, you need to add your own twist. Try a unique arrangement. Take a ballad and change the tempo or style. And this is something that's really easy to do also in Band in a Box. By the way, I just use that software as an example, but you can change the key in a DAW and numerous other software suites. But nonetheless, try different styles. Maybe the song is contemporary. Okay. Try with a Latin rhythm. I communicate with a few Latino musicians out on the West Coast, and they are killing it, taking old 60s soul classics and covering them with their distinctive accented vocals and rhythms. Maybe try a country song or a disco song. But a lot of times when you change the rhythm, subconsciously you deliver in your own style because you no longer have that original song as a crutch. Another thing that works a lot is if the song is sung by a female that you want to cover and you sing the song as a male, or vice versa. That also forces you to use your own style. Luther Vandross sparkled in his rendition of Superstar by the Carpenters. Now, I'm no Luther, of course not, but I did that with Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, and a lot of listeners actually enjoyed my version. I took Dionne Warwick's Walk On By, which was a mid-tempo ballad, and made it a disco house song, and that cover also did pretty well. Anyway, you get my drift about doing a unique arrangement to a distinctive vocal style. Third, you need to pay attention to production quality. Now, I don't want you to go out and break the bank with fancy equipment, but you do need to make sure your recording sounds pretty pro. If it's vocals, use those EQs and compressors. Manage that reverb and delay. And use pitch correction and moderation if it's available to you. Don't pay attention to other musicians. They think pitch correction immediately means sure or T-Pain. That just shows how little they understand the pitch correction software is an industry standard today used across the board. Use it. Your goal as a producer is to produce the best sounding track that you can make. And let me tell you, nothing will make a listener turn you off quicker than a vocal that's full of flat notes. I'm telling you, that's the reality of the situation. And there are a lot of tools and effects that help you get a pro, or at a minimum, a near pro sound. So take advantage of that. Number 4, focus on the emotional connection. A great cover song is all about conveying the emotions and feelings of the original, but with your own unique spin. Think of Jimi Hendrix doing Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower, or Marvin Gaye doing I Heard It Through the Grapevine after Gladys Knight had already made it a mega hit. Those are just a couple of examples. And number 5, you gotta be authentic. Don't try to be somebody you're not. If I do a song by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, I know I'm not Smokey, so I will deliver the song my way. But at the same time, keep the theme intact. You can't be afraid to put your own stamp on the song. Now, of these 5 tips, I think the most impactful is adding your own twist. This is what makes a cover song from being just a carbon copy of the original to being a truly unique and memorable rendition. It's not always easy, but when you get it right, man, it's just magic. Some covers were so good, as a matter of fact, that they even surpassed the original versions. As the story goes, Jimi Hendrix did such a great interpretation of Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower that Dylan actually incorporated the style of Hendrix when he played the song live in future renditions. So maybe you could take a classic rock song and turn it into a haunting ballad. Or maybe you could take a slow jam and turn it into an upbeat dance track. The possibilities are endless, and it's up to you to experiment and find out what works best. When you're able to add your own twist of a cover song, you're not just creating a new version of the track, you're creating a new experience for your listeners. You're giving them a fresh perspective on a familiar song, and that's what makes a cover song so powerful. Creating that cover is all about creativity, authenticity, and a willingness to take risk. And by following these 5 essential tips, you can take a classic track and turn it into something truly unique and memorable. So, don't be afraid to get creative. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't worry about trying to please other musicians. And most importantly, don't be afraid to make it your own. For more tips and tricks, check out other videos on my channel. And thanks for spending a few minutes with the Old Guy and Senior Musicians Unite. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.